doctors have to recommend it. I want doctors. I'm not saying, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, as you possibly have found out. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a person with common sense. So what do I know? I'm not a doctor. I'm not acting as a doctor. What I know. Again, I'm not a doctor.
These are the stories of the young doctors going to work every day to help treat the hundreds of patients critically ill in our hospital. This video is not meant to cause panic or alarm, just to share our experiences. We hope the public can recognize the seriousness of this pandemic and continue to take steps to help prevent this from happening at their home. The most inspiring sequelae to this horrible pandemic has been every department coming together to resuscitate these patients. Medicine, surgery, emergency medicine, orthopedics, nursing, respiratory, it doesn't matter. Everyone has stepped out of their comfort zone to fill the need for critical care in a time where resources are scarce and fear is abundant. Here are just a few of their stories.
Mayhem.
I would probably best describe it as pretty chaotic. I think I remember like when we did MICU a few months ago, we had 3 ARDS patients and we were like shocked. Well, that's a lot. But now it's like everyone, the whole hospital is pretty much pretty sick, and then the staffing is also really short.
A lot of chaos, but chaos that we're trying to control. It's been, every day has been a bit different challenge. It's nothing like the day before. Every hour you don't know what's going to happen next, but we've just been trying to control what we can and do the best for our patients.
The hospital has been flipped upside down for the better part of the last 2 months, and so we're all sort of managing, trying to deal with it.
There's a lot of COVID patients. There's a lot of intubated patients. We have gone into pandemic mode. And we are very short-staffed.
No, it's everybody's working together to try to get through this pandemic as best we can, and we're treating these patients as best we can with what we've got.
Like another world in the hospital. It's practically the entire COVID hospital right now. I guess overall just a lot of stress and feeling of unknown and helplessness.
And everyone's struggling, and we're just trying our best.
In the hospital right now, it's like a complete war zone. It's a lot that's going on. We have little resources, and people are just basically dying left and right here. I mean, and we feel pretty much, I mean, like, speaking for myself, I feel powerless to do anything for them since we have little effective treatment at this point. It's basically just waiting and see how people respond to whatever trial drugs we can get them on. And it's pretty disheartening. Just
You feel more, I guess, this desire to really just help, but it feels very helpless sometimes. 100%.
All of them but one.
I would think 90%, I think, yeah.
100%, or 99.9%.
100% of my patients are COVID patients.
Yes. Okay.
Probably 80 to 90% of the hospital.
All of them. So 100%?
Definitely stay home and I guess continue to spread awareness, not in person.
No more hugging.
I think, obviously staying home is extremely important, but I think what this has all taught us is to sort of appreciate our health and not take that for granted, and hopefully after this we can come in with a new appreciation for our well-being and for the well-being of the people around us.
Well, some people out there still might not be understanding how serious this illness can be, particularly in young, otherwise healthy people. And while it's true that most young people who might get infected with the COVID will end up fully recovering, there is still a significant percentage that will get very ill from this and can even die from this.
Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands.
Take care of yourself. It doesn't matter what your age is. The risk is there. But at the same time, we also have to be hopeful that all of this will be over one day and that we'll come out better in some ways as a society.
Again, stay 6 feet away. Make sure that everybody's washing their hands constantly. The best thing that we can do is try to prevent the spread of this thing.
I would tell them to shelter in place and to take this seriously. Then, they probably know people who get coronavirus, and it's just going to be like the common cold for them. But then they don't see the opposite side of the spectrum that we see day in and day out. At the same time, even if they do have family members that do end up getting admitted, they're not there at the bedside and seeing how patients are and how quickly they deteriorate.
Stay at home. Don't come out. I know the spring is coming, but we're working hard here. Everybody is, and a lot of people here don't even have time to eat lunch, and don't have time to go to the restroom. And this is a lot of sacrifice for us on our part. So do your part. Stay home.
I would say that I know it's really scary, and everyone is very scared. But there's no one to blame, and I think in a situation like this, it's best if everyone just kind of loves everyone else and just no hate. Yeah.
Yes, mainly because if I get it, I'm scared about giving it to my parents, giving it to other elderly relatives and friends.
Well, every time that I go home and cough and sneeze, my wife freaks out, and I have to sleep on the couch. Definitely, I don't want my wife to contract it from me. That's my worst fear. Is giving her something that that I don't want her to have.
I am, because I see how bad some of these young people can get. Like, they're on a vent as well, and they also end up being on CBVH, needing dialysis. But at the same time, I feel like just the amount of exposure that I'm having at this point, I feel like I have it.
Actually, no, which might be kind of stupid.
I was in the beginning. I think I've kind of just made my peace with it, and this is our job. I'm just going to do what we have to do, and it's not, if I get it, then I don't know.
We've been so immersed in it that a lot of us are kind of desensitized. But at the back of our mind, I think each and every one of us is scared to either get it or bring it home to our families. These patients are a little different than the ones we're used to seeing. People that are relatively healthy, not much going on. Maybe they're just a little older, or maybe they just have one or two things. And to see them so sick and their family calling you, and they're scared, and you're trying to update them as best as you can, but you really don't know how they'll end up or which direction they'll go. And I think the fright in their voice, and I think that's been something that I've been dealing with.
Sometimes the difficult call comes when, unfortunately, the patient passes away, because things with this coronavirus kind of happen very rapidly. Patients on a non-breather one day, and then all of a sudden, unfortunately, they expire. We make that phone call, and it's like, I didn't really see the family didn't really see this coming. It's like the person was healthy, had minimal comorbidities, hypertension, diabetes, and all of a sudden,
all of them do, since they're all saying, please help my family member in every way that you can, but that you're trying your best and trying to give them everything, but there's only so much we can do, and it's just disheartening at times.
I was really lucky to get an iPad from the palliative care team, and I did the FaceTime for each patient that I take care of, and then it was really emotional to see the patient's family crying, and
I think that there are definitely moments, but there are so many of them that I can't pinpoint one.
Yeah, I think most of us have had probably traumatizing experiences for us, whether it be just, like the resident before me said, having to FaceTime in loved ones to say goodbye to their passed on relatives, and having to see them on the screen crying for over an hour and a half. It's very difficult, and it's the hardest part for me, I think, is that people not being able to say goodbye and having their loved ones be alone. in their final moments.
A lot of situations like that, but I think one that really sticks out to me is this guy who was around in his 60s, and he was getting a lot worse in terms of his work of breathing and his oxygen levels. But he was still talking to me, and we were just discussing, what the next steps were. And at one point, he looked at me and he just asked, like, "Oh, am I going to be okay?" And it was kind of a very jarring question for me. And so I just tried to comfort him and everything, and he started talking to me about his granddaughter, who was just born like the weekend before he was in the hospital, and he's like, "I haven't even got a chance to see her yet."
Pretty young guy, really no medical history, was 40 something. On his way, like he was dying. So I FaceTimed the family, and I think it's probably been like the first time the patient's family has seen him in a while. So they were really shocked to see him dying, but that, everyone's crying. They had, I think, at least 20 people in the room just FaceTiming. And I probably would have done it for longer, but my phone was running out of batteries. So I think that was pretty hard.
One of my patient passed away, but it was actually the patient right before COVID status was changed. So family wanted to see him one last time. And unfortunately, as we went to FaceTime, as I was FaceTiming them, that's when he passed away. So of course, as I was telling the patient family, they broke down, understandably so. But at the same time, I actually felt it was good that they were there when the patient passed, because that's the hardest part of all of this, is that patients are passing without any loved ones nearby.
I had a patient's family say that their family member is elderly, that they're currently intubated, and after this they realized that he'll probably never come home or live the same life he lived, and they would like to take him off the ventilator so that someone else can benefit from it, would have a better outcome than him.
My name is Arena. I'm a PGY2.
My name is Josh Bapnick. I'm a first year.
My name is Teresa. I am a PGY1.
My name is Idan. I'm a PGY1.
Michael Beck, I'm a first year.
And Zikran Chowdhury, I'm an intern.
Amanda Carter, and I am a PGY3.
My name is Michael Su, and I'm currently a third year.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a third year.
I'm Melissa, and I'm a second year medicine resident.
Regis Chang, I'm a third year.
I am a human by the name of Teresa.
These young men and women are my friends. They will have to live with the things they have seen and the decisions they have made in the past month for the rest of their lives. Our friends and our hospital family are getting sick and dying while trying to take care of you and your family. But this is our job, our responsibility, and honestly, it's our honor to be able to take care of everyone. So just please stay home.